So the prospect of an election, we know that the NDP and Liberal agreement expires in 2025. There's nothing keeping it in place until then. And there are rumors on Twitter that the Trudeau government is probably looking at a much earlier election. It's all hearsay and forecasting right now. But what impact do you think that has on the prospect for the Conservative Party, regardless who the leader is, whether it be an election, let's say, within a year or that longer time frame? Is there a benefit to the party in either scenario? Sabrina, I'd love to hear your thoughts on if a quick election or an election further down the road is of most benefit for the party.
The danger of a quicker election is, of course, that Pierre will have less time for the general public and general voters to get to know him. There will also be less time to organize for the general election, fundraise for the general election, especially when it comes to down ballot with MPs and candidates. There'll be less time for them to organize, which is, of course, crucial to winning. But on the upside, things aren't looking so good right now in terms of public sentiment about how Canada is doing, how the economy is doing, how the federal government's doing. We've seen, the chaos at the airports, the passport offices. Obviously, there's inflation. There's talk about a looming recession. There's a lot going on right now that could play into Pierre or any other Conservative leader's hands over the next year. And that would be the danger for the Trudeau government in calling an earlier election, is that the public's not too happy with them or what living in Canada looks like right now.
Yeah, and Rudy, I'll pose this to you because this has been what's been theorized online, is that an earlier election benefits the Liberals because some of those issues that Sabrina has rightfully pointed out could be much worse in 2 years' time. Do you think that there's any accuracy to that?
Look, let's be honest. We as Conservative, we need to reestablish our credentials in terms of the economy. Yes, things are not doing well in Canada right now. Interest rates are up, recessions. It's a question of not if, but when. So now we have to make sure that, and Canadians know that they can trust the Conservative government when it comes to, fixing the economy. So this is the message that we have to send to Canadians about reestablish our credentials. And we also have to poke at the NDP and the Liberal coalition. I don't understand how the NDP can still support this government with everything that is happening, chaos in airports and everything about the economy that is going on. We need, as Conservative, to poke a hole into that coalition. I wouldn't be afraid of an early election just because we have, and Canadians trust us when it comes to the economy. And I do believe that it's time for a Conservative government to come back and to clean the house.
Yeah, I mean, you raise a very good point. It becomes increasingly harder to take the NDP at face value in their criticism of the Trudeau government while propping the Trudeau government up for a determined period of time. In the last minute and a half, because we did start with Patrick Brown, and he's recently just declared that he is running for mayor again. Do you think that that is what's left for Patrick Brown, is being mayor, or do you think that he'll have political ambitions continued beyond the mayor position in the city of Brampton?
Well, I think Brown is the sort of politician who always will have grander ambitions, but it seems like for the foreseeable future, municipal politics in the city of Brampton, where he's been very popular and has a good track record, is where he'll be running. He just announced this week that he'll be running again for mayor of Brampton. And this could be good for the Conservative Party overall, because if he's focused on his mayoral campaign, he's not focused on sowing discord within the greater federal party, which can, help people focus more on September 10th and who the next leader will be.
Yeah, it could provide an opportunity to take the tone of the campaign down a notch, which for anyone who has not appreciated the divisiveness of this leadership race would be welcome. That's for certain. Well, thank you both for joining me on Counterpoint. I really appreciate it. And I'll be sure to have you both back on in the future when we have a new Conservative leader.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, September 10th is fast approaching. The Conservatives are set to pick a new leader. Patrick Brown is out of the race. What does that mean for the party moving forward? Only time will tell, but I think it's certain that it will have an impact on the campaign in general.